episode of Afro Scientific Spirituality. My name is Dr. West, reaching you live and direct from the heart of Africa. If this is your first time on the channel, you're highly welcome. This is a place where we separate the facts from the fiction, the science from the superstition, and the concept from the misconceptions about African spirituality. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to work with ancient Egyptian deities. These are the deities that you're going to find in ancient Egypt, and these are basically deities that comprises the pantheon of gods of ancient Egypt, and also the ancestors, the people that have lived during that time, prominent names, people of timber and caliber, people that were very, very instrumental in the development of that ancient civilization. And these people, their spirits or their energetic vibrations are still very, very present with us today. And we can also make contact with these spirits as well. I want to talk about how we can actually make contact with these spirits and with these deities. In time and space, there is this affinity whereby all time and everything that have happened is currently present in time. And we can actually go back in time and be able to try to see or try to get an idea of what have happened in the past. So for the practice of the making contact with ancient African deities, it is actually very, very simple, and it's actually a straightforward process. It is the same way that we also make contact with other African deities, because the ancient Egyptian deities are actually African deities. And as we know that the ancient Egyptians are pure Africans, they are actually people from the motherland. They are black people. Their skin is black. They are not so-called whites as the Europeans are trying to portray them, that the ancient Egyptians are whites. They are not Africans. They are somehow Arabic. It is not like that. That is a very, very big lie. The fact of the matter is that ancient Egypt has always been a black race, and they are actually composed of people from in the interland of Africa, mostly from Sudan, Ethiopia, West Africa, Central Africa, and they are the same people with us. But Western scholars are very, very envious of these facts, and we know naturally that these people, many of them hate black people, and they don't want to attribute anything good to the African race. So these people are trying to do everything to discredit Africa, to hide the achievements, the development, and the contributions of Africa as the cradle of civilization of this world. They are trying to hide that history. So they are trying to whitewash everything about ancient Egypt to make it look like it has no connection with Africa. It has no connection with black people. So you see all images that they are trying to portray on their news media, on their history channel. It's all about, they always portray white images of Egypt. The few white people that are there, those are the ones that we put up front. And if it's not white enough, they try to whitewash it, to paint it white. They try to break the nose of the statues. They try to hide all the black negroid features of the ancient Egyptians to make it look like we have no connection with them. If you check their Bible, they depict Egypt as evil people, very wicked, demonic people, as enemies of God, that the Egyptians are so wicked that they put the children of Israelites in bondage for 400 years. They try to make it look like you don't want to have anything to do with Egypt, that they are not part of Africa. But when you look at the museums of these people, you will see it filled with so many artifacts from ancient Egypt. In fact, all the Europe museums are filled with artifacts from ancient Egypt. You will be wondering, what are the artifacts from Europe? You don't see anything from Europe. You only see things from Africa in their museums. How come Africa is so bad? Why is European museums filled with artifacts from Africa, from every part of Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, East Africa, North Africa? You will see our artifacts everywhere. You will not see one single item from the Christian era, from the so-called Christian Bible. You cannot even see a toothpick from Jesus Christ, even a share or a spoon from Jesus Christ in any museum. You know why you cannot see anything, any artifact from the Bible in any museum? Because it did not exist. The Bible characters are all fiction. None of them existed. That is why you don't see articles from Bible times in any museum, because it's all fiction, it's all fable, fairy tale. But when you go to museums across Europe, you will see artifacts from all over Africa. These are artifacts dating thousands of years, some even run into hundreds of thousands of years before their creation of the mythical Jesus. You will see all these things there in the museums, because museums only deal with materials that are factual. They only deal with things that are real, that can be proven. Museums don't deal with fairy tales. So you cannot see anything from the Bible in any museum. That is one thing you're going to know, that the Europeans, they are lying about African history. They will tell you that Africa have no history, that we came from caves, whereas they are the ones that actually came from caves in the Caucasus Mountains from Russia. They will tell you that Africa invented nothing. But how come all the Greek philosophers that started civilization in Europe studied in Africa? People like Strabo, Herodotus, Aristotle, Socrates, Pythagoras, and lots of them, all of them came to ancient Africa, Egypt, northern Libya to study, to learn all the wisdom that they have. So if all these great Greek philosophers came to study in Africa, it means we have a full-fledged civilization that was at the pinnacle and the center of the development of the world in ancient time. And this very secret is what so many white Western scholars are trying to hide from African people, so that we keep looking up to them. If you go to Western universities and even universities in Africa, they are still teaching that civilization of the world started in Greece. Can you imagine this effrontery, this arrogance, and this lie that they are teaching to the whole world? That is why you cannot trust Western scholars. When it comes to you teaching, it's like you are asking your enemies to teach you about yourself. How do you think they will feel? They can never do that. They will never teach you. Nobody is going to teach you your own history. It is you that have that responsibility to teach your children and your people your own history. If you are waiting for your neighbor, for your so-called friend to teach you your own history, you are going to wait forever. It is never going to happen. Okay? You send your students, your children, we send them to abroad to go and learn. They're not going to teach them African history. So they will come back with the Negropean history, the whitewash history, and believe that they have nothing. And so they will keep having inferiority complex about themselves and about the world. And they will keep seeing the world through the lens of the European eye, which is half-baked. That is why we have so many self-hatred among Black people in Africa. So in order for you to actually be able to free yourself and be able to chart a good destiny, the real destiny for your people, you have to teach your own history. You have to study your own history by yourself. And that is the first step of you to make contact with Egyptian deities. To make contact with Egyptian deities spiritually is very easy. In my own experience, the deities, they are the ones that will come to you. These are the kind of deities that I will say that they pretty much keep to themselves, but almost everybody comes to them. If you see the world today, every white person, every white historian want to identify with Egypt. We even have a whole course called Egyptology. The study of Egyptology is to kind of separate Egypt from Africa. Like Egypt is not part of Africa. We see so many people there excavating. Till tomorrow they are still excavating. We see the efforts of the Arabs that were invaders that came to invade Egypt in 640 AD that have remained there till today, claiming to be the original descendants of Egypt, which they are not. And a lot of us know that they are not. They are just simply occupiers. Most of the Arabs in North Africa, they are not indigenous Africans. They are simply occupiers that came from the Middle East. And most of the land they are living currently is simply stolen African lands. So for most Black people, they'll be wondering that these are people that naturally believe that they have been told that they have no contact with ancient Egypt. So when you start having visitations or dreams of Egyptian deities coming to see you, you wonder, what connection do I have with these deities that they say that they are not from Africa? You'll be wondering this kind of things. So many Africans have these encounters and they don't understand that those people that they are actually coming, those spirits are connected to you. They are part of you. In fact, you are one of them. So these Egyptian deities, they don't really go out to meet people. If you are seeing them and they are coming to you, most times it naturally means that you are in a way connected to them. And if you have this connection, what you really need to do is to strengthen it. It means that you have a role to play in this current present life dispensation. And what you need to do is to actually strengthen that contact. And we do that very, very easily. The thing you need to do is like the deities that you see in your dream that are appearing to you, try to get their picture or their status, and you try to create an altar to them. The altars that we naturally create is quite simple. We try to make it as close to the original representation of how these deities are naturally venerated, how they have been naturally venerated for thousands of years. You get the image or the picture, you put them on your altar, you get your candles, and of course, the incense that you will need is frankincense. Frankincense is the incense that was popular during the time of ancient Egypt that have been used to venerate African deities. It was one time one of the most popular incense and most expensive material in the world. It was actually at the time more expensive than gold. So you can get some frankincense incense, you burn it at your altar, then you prepare offerings for these deities, you prepare food, just quite the way we give offerings to other deities. One thing you need to know about giving offerings is that you actually need to prepare the food yourself. Okay, you don't just go and buy something from the supermarket or from the shop, they just present it at the altar. It can be okay in some cases whereby you do not have time to cook or you don't know how to really prepare something. But if you really want to make it more strong, you want to get a stronger connection, you actually need to prepare that food by yourself with your own hands so that you can be able to put some of your energy into that food that you give as the offering. Okay. So it's very, very important that you prepare the food by yourself, no matter how simple, but try to prepare it with your own hands and present it there. Then you can actually sing a song or play music to harmonize with the frequency of that deity, or you can just simply write a letter about the petition to the deity. I have spoke about this, how to make contact with ancient African deities, how to study in the ancient Egyptian temples if you want to know about the mysteries of ancient Egypt. We have so many temples in ancient Egypt. These are places where people go to study about sciences, about life, about spirituality, about history. We have hundreds, if not thousands, of these sort of temples. We have a temple of Dendera, we have temple of Karnak, we have temple of Abydos, we have temple of April, we have so many temples in ancient Egypt. If you would like to make contact with a particular deity and you really want, excuse me, I don't know why this fell for whatever reason, but I'll still continue with the broadcast. If we like to make contact with any particular deity, what you need to do is that you actually need to know that temple, know the deity that resides in the temple. Then you light a candle and write a request to the deity that you would like to know more about them, you would like to study the mysteries in the temple, and the deity should give you permission to come there to learn or should reveal the mysteries to you. Then you provide a little bit of offering, and then you burn that later with the candle flame, of course. You burn it later, and you go to sleep. It's as simple as that. Okay, very simple as that. Either you're going to see yourself learning in that temple, or quite naturally, the information that you need about that deity will find their way to you. Any way they want to find their way. It can be that you can just stumble on them on the internet, or a friend will give you a certain book or certain direction. Somebody will point you in the right direction to get the information that you really need to use at that particular time. So this is how it naturally works. These are deities I have come to discover from experience that they don't go after people. If they come to you, it means that you have a connection with them, you are part of them, or you might have venerated them in the past. So they don't normally appear to people. And if they come to you, you means that you have a personal relationship with them in a way. And these are deities that they have a distinct, unique signature that is different from other pantheons. Very unmistakable signature. They are very, very old, very, very ancient deities, and they are very powerful deities in a certain way. So we make contact with some of these deities through this means by simply creating altars to them, by reading about them, by studying them. You can easily channel them. The best way to invoke them is by using your mantra beads, and channeling is the best way to actually bring these deities into the present light. And you can learn a lot of things from them. A lot of people channel these deities on the regular, and they are currently very, very active in the world today. Most of the inventions that we have are currently from Africa, and many of them from ancient Egypt. So you can actually learn a lot of things from them. If you are talking about science, quantum physics, plasma physics, nuclear physics, biology, chemistry, mathematics, advanced mathematics, time and space travel, they have lots of things that are materials that you can actually learn from Africa. In fact, we are the cradle of all these things. So if you are looking for knowledge, advanced knowledge, historical knowledge, anything you are actually looking for, you can actually get it. And this is a place that everybody in the world studies. Africa is like the birthplace. Everybody, every scientist, every historian, all of them are here studying Africa. So it's only natural that you, that is an African, also do the same thing. Study your own self, because you are the source of everything. So it's easy. Get the pictures of the deity, put them on your altar, give offerings to them, give your libations to them, and start calling them. And they will come to you, and they will show you what you need to know, show you what you need to do at your particular time or point in your journey. Okay, this is how this works. It is very, very easy. You don't need to stress yourself in making contact with them. You don't need to try too hard. If you are trying too hard to make contact with African deities, you are not really doing it well because they are very, very present with us. Okay, they are very present to us. I keep telling people that if there is any holy land in the world, if there's any holy land that some people claim that their land is an holy land, Africa is the only holy land in the world. Okay, this is where everything begins, and this is probably where everything is going to end. So to make contact with African deities is very easy. It's something that is supposed to be a seamless process. When you feel connected to the deity, you simply set on an altar and give an offering to the deity. Okay. If the deity responds, it's fine. It doesn't respond, you go on with your life. Spirituality is not a do or die affair. Okay. It's not a do or die affair. It's not something that is stressful. It's something that is very, very easy, very simple, and it's not complicated. The best things of life are free. So anybody that is trying to make any form of spirituality complicated for you, you should know that the person is trying to hoodwink you, is trying to deceive you, is trying to block you from accessing knowledge, trying to make it look difficult so that they can probably make some money from you. So it's not something that is difficult to do. Okay, most times we don't even, the deities contact you, you don't need to spend money. They are not demanding that you need to go and break the bank for anything. What you do is simple things. What you present are very, very simple things. Most times they need your attention. Okay, they need your attention. Attention is the number one currency in the spirit world. Okay, so you just need to focus on them, give offerings, and you live your life, and then they open doors for you. Deities that are very easy to contact, Tehuti, the one they call Thoth, the god of wisdom. It's a very, very powerful deity and very, very instrumental. He's the god of writing. He's always with a pen. He's one of the patrons in this channel and one of my very close ally as well. He's very, very understanding deity. You want wisdom, you are a student, or you want knowledge, or you want help or insight into any issue, you can contact Tehuti or Thoth for divination, for clarity, for open doors, for insights. He's very, very present. Some people call him the scribe or the secretary of hell or the infernal empire. That is how some black magicians call him. They kind of depict him as the elder brother of Lucifer. That is a very wicked and terrible deity. The way they paint African deities, these were Western black magicians, you will be so shocked. They don't want to see anything good about African deities. You can contact Thoth. He's a very open deity. There's nothing to fear about him. Okay, he's going to help you a lot. Then another deity is Ampu, the one you know that as Anubis, the jackal-headed god. Anubis or Impu or Ampu is still the same guy. Is the deity in charge of the underworld. Is the one that actually takes the souls of the people that have died and he weighs your hearts with a feather. If the feather weighs lighter than your heart, then you can go into the realm of the ancestors, the place that they call Amente, the higher realm. But if your heart is heavy, it means that you have a lot of karma or you have unresolved issues. You will have to send back to these heads. So it's like a gatekeeper for the underworld. It's a very powerful deity. Ampu, Anubis, you can contact him. If you want to make contact with spirits of the dead, he's a gatekeeper. If you want to make contact with some dark spirits, he's in charge of that. If you want insight into necromancy, some various diverse form of ancient Egyptian black magic or darker side of the mysteries of ancient Egyptian spirituality, Ampu is the guy that you need to talk to. He's kind of like Baba Legba or Eshu in the Orisha system. I believe that Ampu is the Egyptian version of Eshu. If you want to make contact with other deities as well, Ampu is the person that you need to go through, or Anubis is the opener of the way. It can clear your path of any obstacle, of any negative thing that is blocking you. It can also clear your path of any karma, anything that you need to do to balance your life. We have people that have so many issues, traumas, psychological issues, emotional baggages that they have been carrying through lifetime, or they have picked up due to things that have happened to them in their life. If you are having issues with those kind of trauma, as in how to get over the death of a relative, how to get over things that are troubling your mind, Ampu is the person that you need to call. If you want peace, you want to settle issues that are affecting you, you need to call Apu, or Jeuti is going to settle those issues for you. It's a very powerful deity, very friendly deity, and it's very, very easy to channel. You can call him in the night time. You give him offering. You can use the black or red candle. You can put his image and you invoke him. There's a book written by Henry Kraftner called The Pyramid Matrix, a guide for success and survival. I have actually done a review on that very book on this channel. That is a very powerful book that talked about how to invoke ancient Egyptian deities. You can check my channel for that book, The Pyramid Matrix. You're going to see that book there. Inside that book, Eric Kraft now was a Kemetic priest. He passed on about 5 years ago, but he did so many work for the Kemetic community in America. You need to read that book, The Pyramid Matrix. I have the link under that very video. If you're going to go into details, it went into details about how to invoke Egyptian deities, how to meditate, how to make contact with them, how to set up the altar, their characteristics, their personalities, their attributes. You will know a lot of information about ancient Egyptian deities from that book. Then another very good book that you can actually use to know about ancient Egyptian deities is a book written by Mufundishi Geratimus, titled "The Spiritual Warriors Are Healers." That book is a very, very powerful book. And I have also done a review on that very book on this channel as well. Spiritual Warriors Are Healers. So you need to get that book and you read it. It went into great details about all the deities that you will find in ancient Egypt and how to make contact with them, and to find out your guardian spirits as well. You can use that book to be able to, just by reading the book alone, we actually invoke those deities into your life. It's a very powerful book. I want you to get that book and it will help you a lot. So to make contact with ancient Egyptian deities are not really that difficult. They are always present here with us and they are waiting for us to actually make contact with them. Okay, so you can do that very easily. If you see them or they come to you, you simply set up an altar and you start giving offerings. Get your candles, you get your frankincense, and you get your thyme, and you just go with the flow. Okay, so it's different from other people, and it's different from other deities as well. So you try your hands on this, and you tell me how far you go. Okay, so this is what I have for you today. Like and share this video. Questions and comments are welcome, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell close to the subscribe button so you'll be the first to get my videos as soon as I release them. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. So take care and bye. Peace.